We are sponsored by Raise Energy, powered by the enhanced refresh technology. Raise Energy delivers with a performance-enhancing energy drink that aids in the most often overlooked categories. Raise Energy targets focus, enhances your recovery time, improves clean energy levels, and boosts your stamina and hydration. Most importantly, each single can of Raise Energy has absolutely 0 calories, 0 sugar, and 0 carbohydrates, which that gives you a smarter and more healthier option. You should not have to settle for an energy drink that contains more sugar and carbs than you can count. Opt for the #1 fan-voted energy drink on the market today with Raise Energy. If you want to get yourself a can of Raise Energy, go to repsports.com, REPP sports.com. Use my promo code HPP1000, HPP1000 at checkout, and you will receive a generous discount. Hodgepodge Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Dylan Hodge. But you guys already know that. I'm on Instagram and I am on Twitter. I am Mr. Dylan Hodge. You want to go follow the podcast on Instagram? You don't have to. I don't ever really post over there, but if you want to just follow and see what we got going on there, you can at the Hodgepodge Podcast. I appreciate you guys listening and downloading this episode of the Hodgepodge Podcast. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. So last week we did the Shirley Phelps Roper podcast, and that was over a year ago that me and Big Shrimp had recorded that, and I was very, very frightened to put that out there because you didn't know what kind of, and I mentioned that in the podcast, I'm not going to go in depth, but you didn't know what kind of reaction that it was going to get. And I didn't promote it on Instagram. I promoted it on Facebook, and that was the worst decision of my life to do because I got so much hate from Facebook that I just decided, I'm just not going to promote this episode anywhere. I think I talked about it in my stories later in the week, but other than that, no real promotion for that episode, which I'm kind of sad to say because maybe it would have... Maybe if I would have just let not my ego, but if I would have let everything aside and screw everybody that has said something about it, then, maybe then, I wouldn't be as scared. But I want to not share a story, but this is going to go into the podcast here. Right now, I am listening to the audiobook for Lauren Akins, which is Thomas Rhett's wife. And I'm in the first hour of the audiobook so far. I'm probably farther when you're listening to this because I'm recording this on Thursday because Friday through Sunday is going to be hell for me this week. And so I'm just recording this a couple of days earlier. And so I'm about an hour 15 in, about 75 minutes in. And she talks about in the first chapter about how her family is and how, when they were growing up, they could just play on the street and no one really cared. Everybody came over to their house for dinner. They were always over at somebody else's house for dinner. And they loved playing around, and there was just this happy-go-lucky town, this happy-go-lucky community. And I kind of grew up in the same community type feel. We grew up on this road that we live on now. We moved here and there, but my family has basically stayed here for 30 years. And so, we named the road we live on. We were the first ones here, so we named the road. And it has just growing up, the community, because growing up, how it was my grandma was here in the house we live in now, and then before she moved off about an hour away, but so she lived here. We lived down the hill a little bit, like half a football field away, and we lived in a little double wide trailer, and then on top of the hill from my grandma's, which is less than half a football field away, was my aunt, my mom's sister, and my cousins. And then across the street from us was the neighbor that still lives there today. We still have great contact with her. And her kid, Ronnie, was there. And he was a little older than me and my cousin. Because my cousin she's 4 years older than I was, than I am. And so he was probably 4 years older than her. So we're looking at a good 8-year gap for me. But it was that type of community that I lived in. Was, okay, we're going to go ride our bikes. You can't go past the stop sign, which is about half a mile from the house. You can't go past the stop sign. You turn around at this old man's house, and you turn back, you come back. Stay out as long as you want. You get hurt, come inside, rub some dirt on it, and you go back to playing. And that's how it was for me growing up. And, Laura goes into a more depth detail in the book, but the reason I bring this up is because, hang on just a second, let me pull this up here. Jared and Heather are the owners of The Retreat, Southbound Overstocked, Crate and Pallet, and more yet to be known businesses in Wiggins, Mississippi here. And, she brings up the fact that the whole town was just this big community. And I like to think that Wiggins here in Mississippi, where I'm located now, Big Shrimp for some reason says I live in Biloxi or some crap like that. That's not true. Don't listen to that jerk off. I don't live there. But I like to think that, Wiggins is the same as how, Lauren Akins and Thomas Rhett grew up. It was just community that had everybody's backs. And it's still the same way today. And that's no different from my guest for today. And that's a good segue. I planned that segue. That was a pretty good segue, wasn't it? I'm not professional, but I planned that segue. I was like, I'm going to bring this up, and I want to talk about that crap. All right. So, yeah, I mean, Wiggins is this big community that has everybody's backs, I think. And, for Jared and Heather Obomsawin, okay, Jared and Heather, I probably got your name wrong, your last name wrong. Forgive me. You said it's pronounced just the way it's spelt. Well, I don't know if you say Sawin, Obomsawin. That's what I'm going to go with, Jared and Heather. So, screw off. But they are the owners of The Retreat, Southbound Overstock, Crate and Pallet, and more yet to be known businesses here in the community of Wiggins, Mississippi. They're talking today about the best advice for entrepreneurs. If you want to get out there and you want to start, this is how they did it, and what's good advice for it. So Jared talks about starting a textbook company successfully and then changing with the time and moving to an eBay type online store. They talk about how their employees are trained to be an equal to their customer. They have not one bad soul in the place. If they do, that person is hiding. I'm telling you, I would go into this Southbound place, even Crate and Pallets, just on Saturdays. But I would go into these places that they have, and there's not one bad person there. Not one. And I really kind of talk about that here because it's like, it's fantastic because you don't see a lot of places like that. You always see negativity in at least one person. So Jared and Heather being business partners with Jared's ex-wife and how they co-parent and are all best friends. This is a very interesting story. And it was funny because you're not going to hear it on here. Just a little behind the scenes note here. When we were recording this, I did not know most of the names that they were talking about. I knew just from the stores or from Facebook or just from being in this small town. I knew who they were, but then they bring up this one name, and I'm like, who is this person exactly? And it's just like, Jerry just go, boom, my ex-wife. And Heather's like, no, we're taking that crap out. We're not doing it. And then they're like, they argue back, but they're like, no, it needs to be in there. No, it doesn't. It needs to be in there. So there was like a 4-minute audio preface here of just Heather and Jared arguing with themselves about, should it be in there? Should it be in there? And luckily, you're going to hear it in there, and that's how Heather wanted to do it. So it was like take 28, I think. All right, so yeah, Heather and Jared Obomsawin. That's what I'm gonna say. Jared and Heather Obomsawin are overstocked in Wiggins, Mississippi, right here, right now.
Hello, everyone. It's Murph from Jokers. I'm here in my hotel room. There's my blankie. These things are not important. Here's what is. You've made a choice to listen to the Hodgepodge podcast. Not a bad choice, my friend. You are making good decisions in life. Subscribe now and anywhere that podcasts are available.
Idea narrative that we're working with or anything like that?
I want to talk about your business, but other than that, kind of just chit chat.
I love business.
I know, I can tell.
Which business?
Yeah.
All of them? We got
Well,
one.
this is my question. This is my first question leading off.
Mm-hmm.
I was messaging you about doing this. You said we have 5 businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a second. So 5. What I know of 3, which is Southbound.
You got Southbound.
You got the spa,
Yep.
and then you have the one you just opened.
Yeah,
What's that
Crate and
called?
Pallet.
Crate and Pallet.
U.S. Tex Incorporated.
I don't know.
the
What is that?
It was a college textbook
It's
company.
where it all began, the very first business.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll
but
talk about that.
And it's transitioned over to basically being an eBay company. So we don't do books anymore, but we're still considered U.S. Tex Incorporated. But we're an online resale company.
Okay.
And then we have also
What's it called? Blueprint. It's just
we just started Blueprint Marketing Media.
Okay.
And so
Can't
we're doing.
leave out the other people though. That one's Jared and Sherry.
That's me and
So we've got
Sherry.
like mine, his, ours. So it's like Jared and Laura technically are the owners of Southbound Overstocked. Me and Laura are the owners of Crate and Pallet. Me and Jared are the owners of the Retreat. Jared and Sherry are the like
Yeah.
we're all over.
We're all over
So
the
who
place.
is Jared and Sherry?
This is
I'm
Jared.
Jared, and then Sherry is Sherry
Right,
Morris.
I know you were Jared, but I didn't know if there was another Jared and
No, no,
Sherry.
no, no,
no.
no,
Okay,
no.
okay,
Just
okay.
Sherry Morris.
And then Laura
and me.
is the other
Right.
business partner.
Yeah.
So we can just, instead of naming off everybody, because I don't know, we can just say we have other business partners.
Okay.
I mean, we could ask the question again. We could explain it again because people would be interested to
Yeah,
hear.
maybe don't talk about yours and Sherry's because it hadn't even really started all the way yet. Just say it's in the works.
Let's just go with the 4.
I'll explain what we're working on, but just really
Because then
short.
I got another one I'm opening across the street, but it's going to be a little minute.
So it's gonna be 6.
It's gonna be 6. It's probably going to be 20 by the time we get done, but
Yeah, it's. Where you guys find the money to do this?
work real hard,
Work
put your money
real
back
hard
into
and
business.
reinvest.
Are you
in
at least
ourselves.
making money now that you can say we're making money?
We just pay ourselves as employees. Salary.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and so that's
So-
how you build a business really quick.
Right.
Yeah.
Give me the. I want separate answers here. What's your background?
My
Are we
background.
recording right now?
Yeah, we're going for like 3 or 4 minutes.
Do you edit any of this?
I can. If you want to. I usually don't.
Okay.
But yeah, those names. Yeah, we'll
Okay.
Jared
so-
and blank.
Sometimes I get a little.
Yeah.
So my background.
Yeah, yeah.
I was an electrician. I went to college temporarily for marketing and history, and I got a lot of different things I'm interested in. Geography, political geography is my big passion, but I really got to be an electrician. Didn't enjoy it. It was good, but the pay back then wasn't very good. And got into textbooks, and that was a really, really profitable thing. But it's not anymore. It's kind of gone off the radar now.
So when you say you got into textbooks, you just got into selling textbooks for like schools?
Oh yeah. Selling textbooks for schools, buying and reselling with bookstores, and basically we were a middleman for the bookstores. And
So that would be where, like, if the college people couldn't afford to get brand new textbooks, they would come to you, which is like a secondhand thrift shop.
or if
I
they
guess.
couldn't find them, because we
Gotcha.
also deal in a lot of specialized books like older editions and stuff like that were no longer in the market. We would try to go contact other colleges that had those older editions to resell to other schools. And
Gotcha.
so we found a niche in that market, but that's kind of out of the question now because it's a dead industry with the all digital. It's been forced. So we stepped out of that last year. And so we decided to just go ahead and just do a retail store. And we want to, since we did a lot of work with Amazon already, we decided to go and do liquidation with them. And so now we have a massive, store and facility. We're expanding the business at a pretty massive rate. So it's been pretty exciting to watch it grow so quick. We went from about 5 employees to 35 in about 1 year.
You know,
So,
what's cool about Southbound, both of you, is Wiggins needed something like that.
yeah.
Like, because it's just, what do you consider Southbound? How do you categorize that? Because it's not a thrift store, but it's also not.
I would consider it.
It's like a Goodwill for rich people.
Yeah, it's a high end. It's more. I guess it's more of a high end discount store is what I consider
I
it.
say it's like a mix of like a
TJ Maxx.
fancy dirt cheap and a TJ Maxx with more variety and lower prices.
And it smells better.
And it smells much better. It smells real good.
And so we have a lot of following with that. We just opened a year ago. We have about 16,000 Facebook followers.
Southbound just opened a year ago?
Yeah, about a year and a half ago. Year and a half.
So we
It seems
opened right
longer than that,
before
though.
the
Yeah.
pandemic started.
Yeah.
And then we had to pretty much close, except we didn't close. We had to adjust. So we
Yeah.
started doing sales on Facebook and putting together like little packages for people to come pick up to like entertain their
Right,
kids
right.
and whatever. And then people were doing online orders and it turned into a thing. And now Sherry, everybody knows and loves Sherry. She's our face of the business and does all the lives, all the marketing.
Okay,
She's
that's who you're talking
amazing.
about.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
Got
the
you.
Sherry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody loves Sherry.
I'm good with
And-
faces, not names. Pretty much.
Yes,
Yeah, I'm
and
the same
she
way.
has just like it turned into it started out with just people picking stuff up, because you weren't supposed to be around people.
Yeah, curbside
And then
pickup was the
Curbside
big.
pickup, and then it turned into online orders and holds, and then we ended up having to have a holds area and then make tickets for it, and it just evolved and turned into this thing. And then I was getting ready to go back to the retreat because we were getting ready to reopen, and it was like, well, somebody's got to do all this. So then Sherry came in and took it and ran with it, and it is like a huge and she even helps us at Crate and Pallet and does our marketing and social media stuff there too, because she is just so good at it.
Yeah.
So what she did was she kind of branched it out more than what you could do.
Right. I was doing it to keep the business, help keep
Yeah.
the business going during the pandemic, and also keep myself from going crazy because the retreat was closed and I wasn't trying to stay home with all the kids every day. So I was like, let me come up here and see what I can do.
Yeah.
And we generated a lot of income from it, and it turned out to be a really cool thing. And now Sherry just took it and made it even more awesome, and people buy stuff online every single day still. And it's crazy. We can't have like a website because everything changes so quickly.
Right.
But she makes the posts, and people, leave their PayPal or whatever to claim and
Okay,
buy
so-
their thing,
okay.
and then they put it in a holding area, and they have like 3 days to pick it up, and it's really cool.
Yeah, it's been a big hit, and then also with the 2 stores combined, we've actually decided. We did that. We did like a liquidation sale
It started out
in the
for
back
Crate and
parking lot.
Pallet.
Yeah.
It started out an idea. Sherry actually had the first idea, and I make sure I tell everybody that it was her idea to do the liquidation sale. She was like, I don't really know all the details of how we should do it, but I know it would be really cool. Let's do it. So I kind of jumped in with it, and me, her, and Laura, and Christina just kind of planned out this big parking lot sale just to kind of see what would happen.
Yeah.
We had seen different bin stores.
You did that
and-
first with Southbound.
Yeah,
Yes.
we did
Okay.
it at Southbound.
Right.
And so we did it in the parking lot, and it was really good. We
It was
didn't really
giant.
know
It was-
what
yeah,
we
I
were
was there,
doing,
and
but
it
it
was
was
like, oh.
insane. And we all were like,
Yeah, we
okay.
had a line to get in the
So
store,
that
about
was on
500
a
people. It was
Sunday.
insane.
And then Monday, me, Laura, Jared, and I think Sherry and Christina were there too. We sat down and were like, well, that went really good, blah, blah, blah. By the end of the day, we had gotten the building next door and decided to open a business. The whole Crate and Pallet came from that. So we were like, let's just open a store.
And so what that is basically you buy bulk from
Truckloads.
Amazon or whatever, and then you sell it for cheap.
Yeah, we
Yes.
just
Well,
So we process it really quickly. We have a warehouse manager, and we have an assistant manager, I guess you would call her. And then Laura and myself are there during the week, and we process out the inventory. We take out anything that's obviously broken or gross looking, but it's a really quick process so that we can keep the prices low. But everything's like $200 down retail price. But the most you ever pay for it is $20. So every 2 hours we do a price drop. So depending on when you come, that's how much you pay and whatever's left. So there could be a $200 item that people just didn't see or whatever, and you can get it for $5, $2 if it's still there.
I mean, we've had $900 items. We've had
because I tell people, like, depending on how bad you want it, how many we have, is kind of what you want to pay for it. If we've got 50 of them, and you're like, oh, I really want it, I'm gonna pay $20. But if we've got 20 of them, and you're like, well, I don't know, let me see if it's still here later. You may get it for 10 or 5, but it's kind of like a gamble, and people love it. It's so fun and we have a lot of people that come that are resellers. So they come in and they'll buy all this stuff and then they can resell it and they're making so much money online. And we're like happy for them because we're doing what we're doing and selling our stuff. And then these other businesses are building their business through us. People are like, y'all don't care that people come and resell it. I'm like, no. That's part of this is our business.
Making me money. So
this is our business. As
We're
long as
happy
we
for
get
them.
rid of what we have, we're excited for people to go do whatever they want with it. I don't care if you sell it for $8 million. You gave us our $20. That was our goal. We're done.
What was crazy was, I remember, because you haven't been open with the new one, Crate Pallet Long.
Not even a month.
not even
And it's only on Saturdays.
And it's only on Saturdays.
Mhm.
There were people, I had to run to Gulfport one morning. There were people outside at 5 o'clock in the
Yes.
morning, and it doesn't open till 9 o'clock.
Yes.
And I'm like, to get a pair of AirPods?
Yeah.
There is no way.
Yeah.
But how you also did it was smart,
Mhm.
because I was there first day it opened. Was crazy.
Crazy.
I mean, it was like anxiety attack.
Yeah.
Man are here. But what you did was you got on the thing and you were like, hey, look, the price drops in this time, so in 30 minutes you have to get in line. And I thought that was smart. Because I would have just been like,
I'll just hold all this until the
right,
$10.
right.
Yeah.
And that's what people were I bet you 90% of them were going to do that. We're going to be like,
Yes.
I'm just going to wait around maybe an hour or two and get this for $5 instead of $20.
Yeah.
But I like how you
We're
did
like,
it because it was
no.
smart.
Close
you
down
have
the whole
to check
store,
out,
yeah.
Because here's my
Yeah,
thing.
and you kicked everybody outside.
Yeah, because here's the thing. We want people to get really good deals, but we also want it to be fair for people.
And you don't want ball hogs.
Like some
Yeah.
people may have a lot of disposable income, so they can come in and just buy up all this stuff. But then you got, let's just say like regular income people that are
Stay-at-home
trying to get
moms
stuff,
that can't afford stuff, that
you
like
know,
diapers and stuff.
that
they
are
have
trying to get stuff that they can use or want or put up for a Christmas gift or whatever. So we don't want it to be where people come in and hoard up all this stuff and then put it all back right before they leave and then come in and get it for 10. Like, we want everybody to get a good deal, but we try to make it fair for everybody. We don't sell anything before we open. Like, we don't allow our employees to shop before. I don't even let my mama come in and buy stuff before. We don't.
That's
said Laura and I decided we had to have an ethical and moral code that we went by, and we cannot break it.
Yeah.
Because it's not fair and it would compromise the integrity of our business.
Yeah, we
And
don't
you would
even
be
get
able to
ourselves.
tell.
If we want items,
It's really hard
like
because
I wanted AirPods, I didn't touch the
there's,
AirPods.
I don't own AirPods. I don't have
I
those.
don't
So
I don't.
there's a
ones that come with
lot
the
of
phone.
stuff
Yeah.
that
And we've had people offer us like
want.
$100 for
yes,
items,
people
and
be
we're
like,
like,
I'll
no,
pay
$20.
you extra if you let me get these early, and I'm like, that's not the point.
Yes, I know.
Like we want it
And I
to be
respect you for that because
Yeah.
you could easily say,
Easily make
go
more
Yes.
money.
I mean,
But-
$80.
right, but that's not the point of
Right,
the
yeah,
store.
yeah.
You
And
know?
we got a reputation on the line. If we do that and then word gets out, I mean,
Oh, you would be able to tell.
Yeah.
Because if they came in and there was nothing, which shipments vary. Sometimes we have so many good, flashy, exciting items that you just really want. But then, like this last Saturday, it was a lot more practical things. We had tons of diapers and baby stuff, and like the moms were like, "Yes, let's buy it all out," But then we had other people that are like, "Yeah, I don't really see too much I want this time." They want the more flashy things, and we're learning as we go because some shipments are amazing. Like this shipment for this weekend is going to be really good. Last week was good, but it was different. So it every week is something different.
What are you getting for Crate and Pallet? Are you also getting that from the same people that supply for Southbound?
yes, we have a contract.
So it's the same distributors,
Yeah.
but Southbound is a completely different company
Right,
than Crate
right.
and Pallet.
Yeah.
So we do all our own purchasing, we do all our own things, but we have distributors that
Two
are
different
the same,
contracts.
but we need different things for the different
Got it.
stores.
Okay,
Does that
yeah,
make sense?
yeah.
So Like
Yeah, like Crate
what
and Pallet
we get
is
for Crate and Pallet.
it's online customer returns that are
Shelf pulls.
shelf.
Okay, that's what that is.
Overstock.
Yeah.
Okay, got you.
And so the Crate and Pallet's more customer returns. Southbound Overstock is, I'd say 95% is all brand new items that
Right.
are overstocked or fell off the conveyor belt
Right.
at the warehouse, and they just write it off. Say, hey, or
The
they,
box has been, there
or it
could
just
be a
got
piece
lost.
missing.
Like
Yeah.
it just lost its barcode. They didn't know where it went. They're like, hey, let's just throw that liquidation. Let's get it out of here. And so that's where we come into play. We just take every single truckload out of a facility out of Coppell, Texas, and
A lot of
That's
what
what
we
we get.
get at Crate and Pallet too is like damaged boxes. Like if
Got
the
ya.
box is messed up or something like that. Shelf pulls, like, so they have like a expiration on the shelf. If it's been up there for 3 months, they have to pull those and send. Or if something happens in a warehouse and they have to get rid of everything. So we get that kind of stuff. Some are customer returns, but I wouldn't say it's the majority.
no, it's a good majority, but it's good stuff though, because it's like it was undeliverable. It would be considered undeliverable items and stuff like that.
You never know.
Yeah, you
It's
just never
crazy.
know.
Okay,
It's exciting.
so you started the textbook thing.
Mhm.
Then time changed, of course, and we went all technical.
Mm-hmm.
What was the next step there?
And the textbook company itself.
Laura had started buying and reselling online.
Yeah, she was
She's
buying and
kinda where all
reselling
that started
inventory.
with.
So this Laura you're talking about, are you good friends? Who is this Laura chick?
Okay, so we have an interesting story.
Okay,
So Laura,
take 76. This is a better version.
yeah, Laura and Jared were actually married, and that's where they started the college textbook company. And then once they divorced, they remained business partners and obviously family. They had 2 children together. And then I come in the picture, and we all are one big, happy co-parenting family. And Laura and I have a business together. Jared and Laura have a business together. Me and Jared have a business together. We are like, we got mine, yours, ours, all of us. Everybody's involved with everything. And the way we put it is we're all on the same team. So why not work hard, work together to make it work for everybody?
Yeah.
And we're all really good at different things, and it's just, some people find it, they're like, whoa, what? And then when I explain it like that, they're like, oh wow, that's cool. Y'all actually all work together. And I'm like, we're on the same team. We all want to win, and we're really all good at business together. So, people are like, I could never do, and I'm like, yeah, you can. You can definitely co-parent, and you
Get
can
out
be
of your
business
ego.
partners. Yes. I'm not saying it's always been easy for all of us, but we make it work, and we all get along really well and work hard to respect each other, and we're real good at business together. So why not?
Obviously.
It'd be crazy to not, simply because people might think it's a little different.
Yeah, and so
Yeah, who cares what people think?
it's really
Yeah.
for the kids see it and they can understand that we get along and
Yeah, they
And
don't.
that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
say, Mom and Dad didn't hate each other. You know what I
No,
mean?
we all get
Yeah.
along. We get together outside of work and business stuff too. We'll all take the kids and go do stuff, and we're just a big family. Like I said, we're all on the same team, so make it work and make money doing it.
So what came first, the spa or Southbound?
The spa.
The spa came first. That started in, I think it was November of 2008.
What?
I'm sorry, 2018. Sorry, 2018.
Yeah.
I'm still 10 years ahead, or
Yeah.
10 years
so
behind.
I'm from Wiggins.
Yeah.
And then I moved away to South Carolina and came back. I started doing hair in like 2007. So I've been doing hair a long time. And I did hair in Wiggins. Then I moved away and I worked with Aveda and trained in South Carolina and stayed up there for about 5 years. So when I came back here to Wiggins, I started just kind of doing my regular people on the side and, thinking about it. I'm like, we don't have any like spa type things here.
I
So
don't have a lot of anything here.
hey, it's getting better. It's getting there. And so Jared encouraged me to let us just open the retreat, like a full service salon and day spa. And so we did, and it has went well. We have a float tank, massage therapy, skincare, hair care, sauna, pretty much everything. So
In that little building.
hey,
That's
that
it.
building is pretty big. Have
Is
you
it
been in
really?
it?
Yeah.
Mm-mm,
It's
no.
big.
I've only seen it from the
Yeah,
outside.
about 3,000 square feet.
Really?
Yeah,
It's pretty big.
It's pretty big.
Yeah, we have 2 massage therapy rooms. We have a huge sauna. We have a float tank room. We have a spa lounge.
That's something I'm not
We have a
gonna do. I'm
big
not gonna do that
hair
float tank.
area,
No way.
skincare. We
It's
got all
pretty
kind of
fun.
stuff in there.
Lock you
Once
in
you
the
get
dark,
in there,
in the water. There's
No,
way.
it's actually, believe it or not, actually the float tank was something that was like, I always, whenever I do something in business or anything, I always try to, do something out of the ordinary, because when you stick yourself out there and you're out of the ordinary, people get like excited. They feel like there's something exciting happening. And it could be something as simple as something that nobody's ever heard of.
the float tank.
The float tank. I mean,
I did not agree that we should get that because it was a huge investment, and I was like, no,
Yeah.
that's dumb. Nobody's going to do it. And now I'm like, okay.
What happens if people don't float? Like people like my
Oh,
size
that's
don't
float.
float.
You don't
we
have.
sink.
Yeah, you do.
can
You don't
do-
have an option.
Yeah,
There's
it's-
900
Oh, really?
it's
pounds
about
of
33%
Epsom
Okay,
salt.
okay.
There's
Yeah.
people that have gotten in that are 4 times your size that float, and they love it because even like big, tall, like men or women that can't really relax in like a bathtub.
Yeah.
You can get in there and
It's kind of like what the
float.
bodybuilders type of they use.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you're like, if you're solid muscle, muscle sinks. If you're solid muscle, you're gonna float. It doesn't matter. I mean, you will be on the top.
900 pounds of Epsom salt.
Yeah.
Like there's no option but to float.
And everybody gets freaked out. It's a small little tiny thing. It's like, okay, people have been in this before, but it's self-cleaning. It's salt, kills everything. I mean, you could.
It is pretty big. People think it's like
Yeah.
the size of a tanning bed. I'm like, no. When you get in there and see, it's really big.
Yeah, it's actually really big. It's about 7 feet by about 4 feet on the inside. So it's a pretty large capsule. And you lift up that lid at any time. It just opens right
You're
up
not
really
locked
easy.
in. You
You're
can
not
turn the
locked in.
light on. You can turn music on. You can
Yeah.
get in and out. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's
not
not as
making me feel
scary as
better.
it sounds.
Yeah. But we have a lot of
It's
people that are
not that scary.
claustrophobic that get in there and they say, "Oh, this isn't bad at all. It's actually extremely large," and it's a fun little experience. We had the first one in South Mississippi, and I don't know if there's any. I think there's
The first float tank?
Float
Yeah,
tank,
I think
yeah.
there's one in Jackson.
Hattiesburg, I think now. There's one in Hattiesburg now.
Is there?
Yeah, there's
I
one in
didn't know
Hattiesburg. But it's definitely something that you just don't see anywhere, and we wanted to have that, give somebody some,
that. Jared wanted to have it, but now I'm glad we did it.
Yeah.
I was like, no, that's
So is
too
that
weird.
the big bringer in?
Yeah, that was
float
his
tank?
idea, and I was like, nobody's gonna do that. It's so weird, but people love it, and it's fun. It is weird and it's different, but it's very relaxing and therapeutic. So
Yeah, and it's actually one of the best things followed by a massage. You get that followed by massage. It feels like you just.
Oh
And you
my
allow
gosh.
people to
Oh
drive
my
home
goodness.
afterwards.
they
I
can
know.
sit in the spa
I'll be
lounge and
honest,
relax for a
I
little
was
bit.
feeling a little bit loose after. I was like, man, this is the most relaxed I've ever been in my life. I was like, because all the Epsom salt, it relaxes your muscles. Then you're getting massaged, and you just feel like jello.
You need a nap.
Like
So,
you
so
want
are
a
you
nap
guys like
after.
healthy people?
Oh,
Try to stay healthy?
No.
no,
We
we
should.
Yeah,
but
we
we
No,
don't.
you guys are like
No.
No,
the
I
size
mean,
of my pinky.
No,
so that's why I was
we're-
like,
no, I
next
just
is a
That's what
yoga.
happens when you have all these businesses and all these kids.
you forget to
You're
eat.
busy. I don't.
You forget to eat and then you just feel so sick in your stomach. You're like, why am I sick? And you're like,
I
I
don't
didn't eat
forget
today.
to eat.
Well, I mean, actually, I realized recently I've started gaining weight pretty quickly. But when I stay focused on working, I don't eat anything. I stay pretty healthy weight. And
Speaking for himself, I eat. I'm a fine time.
yeah. But I remember back in the day, I used to make I used to think every hour I didn't work, that's 1 hour I'd have to make more money, and so I just work. And, but I mean,
That's why we go on so many vacations. That's the only time
You
we
go
get
on
to
a
relax.
lot of vacations.
We do.
Yeah, we
we
do.
work hard so we can play hard.
yeah, that's right.
But when we're home, it's pretty much constant work
There,
and
there.
kids.
Yeah.
So it's busy, but we enjoy it. We have a lot more things up our sleeves too.
Oh, yeah,
Lots
we got
of
all
things
kinds of
coming.
plans for the
and
future for
we-
Wiggins, for
yeah.
sure.
We're excited.
Yeah, we're really excited about that. We don't go broadcast it because I'm like, obviously a business. You don't want to just let everybody know your idea.
Somebody gonna take it.
Somebody gonna take
Yep,
it.
yep.
Um,
I did that one time, and I will never do that again.
Yeah.
I just said something, and it was just like, open it in 3 weeks, and I'm like,
yeah.
wait a second. Should have got that
Open it in 3
copyright. I
months.
should have copyrighted that.
Well, I mean, and the thing is, if somebody else does it, we found, there's other businesses that are doing what we're doing, but if you do it better, we found out that you always want to be the best at what you do, and you take criticism, in a positive manner.
We get lots of suggestions. We try different things. We're always learning and trying something new. And like at Crate and Palette, we've been switching stuff up a lot, just going off of like feedback from other people. And we tell our people that have been there every week, we're like, hey, if you have suggestions, let us know. We'll try it. Or if we see like, okay, it's a little congested here, let's move this around. Like we're always, with everything, evolving and changing and trying something new. Like
That's what I found when I went the first day that Crate and Palette opened. Was it was just
congested.
Yeah.
And I was like,
So many
you know what? This is not
people.
even worth it. So I'm just gonna
Yeah.
walk out.
Yeah.
It is not for everybody. We are very well aware of that. It's a lot of people. It's a lot of inventory. But we've made a lot of changes in the 4 weeks that we've been open, and we're only open on Saturdays. So it's 4 Saturdays we've only had to learn, And
But
so
do you find that a positive or a negative? You're only open 1 day a week.
positive.
Really?
Oh
sure.
yeah, absolutely. We were going to do it about 5 days, 4 to 5 days a week, and then we were like, you know what? Let's just do it one day. You don't have to have employees all day, every
Yeah.
day. You don't got to watch them, deal with customers every day. Deal 1 day a week, and then you're done. And I feel like we
And it's
may
exciting.
make we
It's
may
way
make
more
more if we
exciting.
do it through the week, but the thing is, it's a lot less stress on us and our employees.
Yeah.
But I think that could also bring in more people because it's like don't open 1 day, so we have to
It's
go
1 day a week.
You know
You
what I
better
mean?
get
Like,
here when we're open.
because
Yeah.
it's not like Walmart or Goodwill or whatever, and it's like
Yeah.
this will be here
exciting.
Wednesday. This will be here Wednesday, so there's no need me come on Sunday.
Yeah.
But then that it's just like
And if you stick around all day, hey, that item might be there, so people will sit there and watch a certain item.
Yeah, and that's
hopefully
what's
then get
fun
it for
about it.
$5.
Like,
And so-
if you want something but you don't, you're not going to be completely disappointed if it's not
You
there.
can't
You can
hide it.
wait.
Yeah.
Well,
You can't hide
people
it in the
try
middle
it.
of stuff
Lots of people
because-
try that,
Yeah.
and we'll have people hold things and then put it all in a stack. And we're like,
Oh, yeah.
you can't do that.
Yeah.
Make it fair
we
for
make
everybody.
we have a lot of eyes out there, and so it's
And we have security every Saturday. We have a
Yeah.
security officer there watching and
Yeah.
making sure because, just trying
people
to do what
fight
we
at
can
Black,
do.
at Black Friday, so aren't they
Yeah.
gonna fight?
And we haven't had
Yeah.
any major issues. Everybody's been really nice. We've had some people come in there like, this is not for me and leave, and we totally get that. But then we have the people that just love it, and they come in for the first time. They're like, oh my gosh, I cannot. Well, I had a lady Saturday. She found all kind of like baby stuff for such good deals, and she was like, thank you so much. And I was like, that's so sweet. She's acting like I gave it to her. I'm like, ma'am, you're paying for this, but you're welcome. So it's
Yeah.
sweet. People are excited to
Yeah.
have the opportunity to get such good deals.
I think it's funny because we're small business and everybody's just saying like, oh, it's like Black Friday. I'm like, no, it's every Saturday. Or, I was saying Crate and Pallet or every Saturday, Small Business Saturday. There's always a deal every Saturday, and
It's fun.
it's like it really is like a Black Friday or Small Business Saturday kind of environment. I mean, it's exciting. It really is.
I bought I've been going on like these $5 pair of headphones, and so
Uh-huh.
when I went there, was it the first week or the second week? I haven't
Uh-huh.
been since, but I went and I felt these. They were like Beats, but they were like the expensive off-brand of Beats,
Ooh,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
and they were like $399, and I got them for
Yeah.
$20. And I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
you think I'm crazy if I'm not going to grab these?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's stuff like that people just overlook
And
because
we
they don't know
have
it's expensive.
two testing stations
so-
in the back with battery, every kind of battery and plug-ins and USB, things. And we tell people, open it, check it. We don't want people to buy
Yeah.
things that don't work. Or another thing you got to watch, because some of it is returns. The box will say one thing, and you think it's new. Well, you better open it up and check, because somebody will pull the old switcheroo on you, and then you'll get home and be like, what? I bought an empty box. That actually did happen to somebody, and I felt so bad. But we announce it. We have it everywhere. We're like, please check it. We do not want you to buy something
There's
that
like
doesn't
those
work.
people that would buy stuff like a vacuum or something at Walmart and then return it with rocks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Would get
Yeah.
their money
You'd be
back.
surprised what
Yeah.
people will return. It is insane. I'm like,
Yeah.
why would you do that?
Yeah, there's
But
always something,
if we can
some
tell,
story.
we obviously pull it, but we can't catch everything, and that's how we're able to put it out quickly and
Well, there's
at the
thousands
price
of
point.
items.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, we usually have about 5,000 to 8,000 items
I think it's
a
about
week.
four. I think it's 5,000 about a week, which is still
5
a lot.
to 8, depending.
And do you
Yeah.
always? What do you do with the stuff that doesn't ever sell?
So we never put out the same things from another ship. Like, we don't recycle items. So
Okay.
what we do at the end of the day, we sort through it. If it's trash, if it's broken, if it's missing pieces, we get rid of it. If it's something that can be used or would sell at like a flea market, we put it in a big pallet box and we sell the pallets.
Okay.
So we sell
Gotcha.
a huge box full
So
of
you would
stuff.
sell like a shopping
Depending
cart
on what
full
it
for
is.
this much.
Well, we
Yeah.
sell like a huge pallet box,
Yeah.
and depending on what's in it, we'll do like $50, $75, and if we ever have enough of them, we have talked about doing like a pallet auction one night a month, or something like that. But right now, we have people asking about them just randomly, and they want to buy them, so we've just been turning them out. We're like, okay, this is what we have. They'll kind of glance through it, and they're like, okay, sure. So it works for us, it works for them. You don't want to throw away perfectly good stuff, but we don't want to put it out again because people don't want to start seeing the same
Yeah, you're gonna
stuff
sort through the same
recycled,
stuff
and you
over
can
and over.
tell.
Yeah.
Our people that come every week. So we put everything out at the beginning. We don't pull stuff throughout the day. So just because a $300 item is still there at $5, we're not going to take it and put it out next week. You can get it for $5 because that's the whole point. I mean, being honest, you're like, dang, that didn't sell. That was worth $20. I don't want to sell that for $5, but you do, and somebody gets a really good deal and they're excited. We don't put out more stuff later. It's all out there.
And then at that point at the end, are you allowing your customers and yourself to figure out what you want, or not? Or is that still the rule?
Well,
Because they can't come before, but can they do it afterwards?
every once in a while we will. Like the other day, like this past Saturday, there was a Paw Patrol dress that was left, and we were going to put it in a pallet. And our youngest baby has recently decided she loves Paw Patrol, and it was her size.
I'm
So I
sorry.
was like,
I feel for
I
you.
was like, okay,
I know
so
the theme song pretty well.
I was like, instead of putting this in the, pallet, maybe I'll take it to her. Little stuff like that. But for the most part, we really try, unless it's something we need for the business,
Yeah.
because that would be crazy. But otherwise, we just box it all up and send it and sell it in a pallet. And people love it. It's exciting for the people that have bought them so far. They're like, man, I make so much money off of this. And we're like, awesome, because we don't have to deal with it. We don't waste it. We're not going to throw perfectly good stuff in the trash, but it didn't sell at our business, our setup. It's not what our people wanted. If it's something you got other people that want it, do it.
Plus, how long would you be in business if you were reselling everything for the same
Exactly.
price?
If you
Yeah.
came just looking and you're like, now sometimes we get repeats of stuff. Like there's a plug-in blow dryer round brush thing, and I saw it at our Wiggins Walmart. It's $58. We get those a lot. Apparently they're TikTok famous, is what I've been told.
Okay.
And that's why we're getting so many of them, because they had so many of them. And people love them. And I have been wanting one for myself, but I've yet to do it. I said, if there's one left, at the end of the day,
And
one
then
day,
there
I'm
is.
taking it. No, there's not. So
Never.
far, there has not been. But I'm like, I really want one of those for myself. And then when I saw it at Walmart, I was like, oh, $58, because somebody told me they were like, these are like $60. And I was thinking, okay, yeah, right. No, they really are $58. I was like, and we get a ton of them. So some people buy them at $20. Some people don't know what they are and wait, and they'll get it for $5. People have bought them for $2. I'm like, just check it, make sure it works. Good to go. It's crazy. It's exciting.
A few
I
more
love a good
questions
deal.
here as we wind down. We're going on about a half an hour. I made a joke on Facebook a couple of weeks ago that it was kind of like, parenthood is not the hardest job, stuff like that. So I wonder, how do you guys deal? Do you ever, obviously you probably get hate, or I went to this store yesterday and it was just whatever. So how do you deal with that? You just delete the comment off the post, or
And I mean, if it's like a very specific instance, like say for instance at Southbound, once in a while, you'll have people say, "Oh, I didn't find good deals." We have a lot of people that actually go into the wrong store. They'll go into Two Fat Friends, which is they have full retail prices.
now that place is expensive.
Yeah, it's
Well,
expensive.
they have artists.
They have
and,
art
and
that's a whole
It's
different
high-
thing.
it's not a
It's
discount
nice.
store.
Yeah, it's not a
No.
discount store.
And
It's a,
I'll look at the comments sometimes or the reviews, and I'm like, they didn't go to our store, obviously,
Yeah.
because I mean, we
I'm like,
price
it's
everything,
impossible.
unless it's a mistake. We price everything about 20 to 80% off of retail. So we
Right.
look at the lowest price online on Amazon, Walmart, eBay, or not
But
eBay, but I mean,
not
just,
everybody's going to like everything you do,
Yeah.
and that's okay. I don't like
Yeah.
everything everybody else does.
But you can take
that's
it-
what makes the world go
you
around.
take it and
Everybody's
make
got
it
to be
positive.
different.
Yeah.
yeah, you take it and make it positive, because if you get a negative comment on Google or something like that says, hey, this place it's not like it was what I was expecting, you got to be okay. So we need to up our quality. We got to make ourselves
But
better.
also, inventory varies, and we can't control that. We're learning, and a lot of times we don't know until we get it. So as much of the good, exciting, great things that we get a bunch of junk sometimes too, and we have to deal with that.
Yeah.
So sometimes if the shelves are looking a little bare, it's because our shipments were not
haven't
great.
been that
It's
good.
just part of, but not everybody's going to understand that, and that's okay. They don't have to.
Yeah, like the
so
last
we
month
just
has
have to
been-
roll with it, and not get our feelings hurt, make changes where we can, adjust, evolve. That's what we do.
The last month has been pretty dead on the inventory, but right now we just got like 10 freight trucks
This
in,
week should
and
be
it looks amazing.
Really, really good.
It's up and down throughout the year. You just never know what you're gonna get.
And we're still
Yeah.
really new into all these businesses, so we're learning too, you know,
Mm-hmm.
so we can't expect everybody to be happy and love it all the time, because we don't even love it all the time. Sometimes
Yeah.
we get shipments and we're like, ugh, why? What is this? We don't want it.
Yeah.
Nobody wants it, you know, and that's just part of it. So we try to, but honestly, we don't have too many people that are super negative and mean to our faces anyway, or on social media. A lot of times people are really nice and understanding, and we have had some things, and we try to look at that and think, okay, why did they feel that way? What could we do a little different? Or is it just one of those things that this is not for that person? Because sometimes that's just what it is. This is not the type of place for them, and that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, can't win them all.
Yeah, it's kind of like when, like if I'll go in there and be like, is that a little expensive? But then you're like, no, because if you look at it, you're like 30 for that, and you just go, you're like, get that online cheaper, and you're like, it's actually 45.
Right.
And you can actually get it today for
Yes.
this.
Yeah.
It's just
And
the
the
perspective
biggest
of,
thing
That
at
is.
Crate and Pallet is that we're trying to get people, and the more people come, the more they understand. Not everything's worth $20.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff I would not pay $20 for. Like, I had somebody say, you really expect me to pay $20 for this box of chips? I'm like, well, I personally would not do that. I said, if you want to buy that box of chips for $20, we will take your $20. But if I were you, I'd wait and come back later and buy it for like $5 or $2 if it's still
Right.
here.
Yeah.
Because that's a good deal. I was like, don't pay $20 for a $15 box of chips. You know, like, and that's stuff people will learn as they go. And some
Yeah.
people love it. They plan to come there all Saturday, or they'll go do other stuff and come back. And we do have a little area that's like a self-serve coffee bar, and we have snacks and places to sit and a restroom, so people can make a day out of it and get. But it's something. It's
This
a
gonna
different.
take all day to
It's a
look.
different
Yeah.
concept, so
It's-
people have to kind of learn. But then we have so much good stuff that at the $10 and $5, there's still going to be super expensive stuff because there's no possible way people can get all of the good stuff at $20. You only have 2 hours.
Oh, and one big thing that we're doing that we should kind of mention is we're doing Christmas in July.
Oh, yeah.
July 25th
where
It's
at Creighton
everywhere.
Okay.
It's going to
Yeah.
be the whole
Okay.
area right
Yeah.
there. It's
Okay.
going to be super fun. We're in the
Yeah.
early stages of planning it and setting up vendors and
We got
getting
Santa
all
Claus
that
growing
done.
his beard out right now.
He's
So all
gonna
the
have to
kids
be
that
ready
missed
early.
pictures with Santa for
It's gonna
COVID,
be
they get to
really
get a picture
fun.
with Santa during July, Christmas, and
Yeah, it's going to be a
just
really
make it,
fun thing.
make it a
So,
fun, exciting deal.
I don't know when this podcast airs, but if there's any vendors or local businesses that want to get involved in that, they can shout out to us. Sherry's making lists of vendors, and we're
here.
working on all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You should
All
come
what I'm
set
gonna
up-
do.
You
Yeah.
come set up and do a live podcast
Yeah,
all
there
day.
you go.
That's a lot.
That's a long time.
Yeah, actually, I think we have
Get you some
Kicker.
hodgepodge shirts and sell them.
I know
some
Kicker 108 's gonna be
giveaways.
there.
Sure, I
You could
do
do all
that.
kind of
Yeah.
fun stuff
Yeah, we're gonna have
like
Kicker
that.
108. They're gonna have a thing going there that weekend
You should
too.
do a
should do it.
contest, like make a thing where people fill out like what their awesome story would be for you to feature, and you'll read through them and pick one to feature. That'd be cool.
Okay, yeah,
Because people
I'll-
have a lot of ideas and a
I'll
lot
make
of
some ideas and I'll flip 'em
stories,
by you.
and
See
yeah,
what they think.
we'll help you. You can come up with something to do. Look, I'll come up with
I
something.
can come up with something. I have my plan for this, and I was texting Shira with it last night. I was like, I need
Yeah.
help. I don't know how to do this
Yeah.
because I don't know how to do a lot of stuff, and I've just,
Yeah, you gotta learn.
she knows everybody in town.
She
okay,
does.
so it's like, hey, point me to the people.
Uh-huh.
And my thing was, I love Halloween.
Yeah.
Me
To
too.
me, that's my favorite. That's my
Me
favorite
too.
holiday.
Yeah.
I love horror movies. My thing was, I want to do a Halloween Fright Night.
There you go.
Okay, I'll help. I love
Like,
Halloween.
I want to do a Halloween Fright Night, and at first it was like, I wanted it to be an all-day kids thing, but then it's like, that's boring.
Yeah.
We had that.
You gotta get some adult-
You
Yeah.
had
Yeah.
that. Like,
Yeah.
sure, you can do it from this time to this time, but
Yeah.
when dark hits,
Do it.
ages
Yeah.
13 and up, play
Yeah.
horror movies.
Get scary. Yeah.
Like, I have a friend, he was terrified. He was a horror clown. He kills people. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I bet you I can get that guy down here in his makeup and scare the living shit out of these people.
Yeah.
Because that's just, I love that. I love the adrenaline of feeling scared. So I'm like,
I love Halloween, but I think I'm more on the kid end of it, like
Yeah.
fun, cutesy
Yeah.
costumes. So I can help with the daytime activities.
that's fine. Hey, it's all a working
I
process.
can help with the costumes and decorating and all that. I love
It's
doing
gonna
that
take
kind
a lot
of
of
stuff.
time and
Yeah.
money.
Yeah. I love scaring
You
kids
could
because
get
you get
local
the
businesses to
fun out of
be.
it too.
Yeah, that's what she was saying.
Sponsors
That's what she was
and-
saying. She
Yeah.
go out, find support.
Ooh, and you know, we get all
sponsors.
kind of stuff in at Sobo. We could start pulling like costumes and scary because we get some crazy stuff in. We'll just have to tell them to start
We'll-
pulling
we'll-
stuff.
We'll work together and team up. and
Yeah,
try to do
I bet
something.
closer time too. We'll be finding stuff at Crate and Pallet. We get a lot of that kind of stuff in, so I'll start pulling some stuff you might
cool.
could use.
Last couple of
Fog
questions.
machines.
How the F do you pronounce your last name?
Obomsawin.
Obomsawin.
Yeah,
Just
I got,
like it's spelled.
I got a whole long story about just.
I don't even know
myself,
how it's
but-
spelled.
Yeah,
it's
so
like-
my full name's Jared Wawasima Obomsawin. It's Native American, and so
He's the most blonde hair, blue eyed,
That's what I'm
pale
saying,
Native
Native
American
American,
you'll
yeah.
ever see.
yeah, we lived up in the reservation up in Canada and New York, and I
It's
mean,
crazy. I didn't believe him until I went and saw
So
it
are you
myself.
from here or Canada?
well, I'm a dual citizen, and
Okay.
so I grew up in Oneida, New York, and we lived up at
I
the
get the accent. You can.
yeah.
You know. You
He's
can,
losing it a little. He has an identical
Oh, I go up there and
twin.
they say I have a southern accent now.
Oh,
Yeah, his
but-
identical twin is
I
actually
mean-
flying in tomorrow, and he
I mean,
still
compared to
has
them,
He sounds more New York than.
Oh
Jared,
yeah, I
guess.
didn't tell anybody I'm flying my identical twin. I'm gonna send him to work tomorrow.
Trick everybody.
Does he, like
They're
you say identical, they
identical.
look
We-
just
Oh.
alike.
A
Because you
spitting
see
image.
identical and like one's
Yeah.
taller.
No.
No,
Mm-mm.
we
Let me
like
find him.
100% identical. Like if I walk in there, I get confused in pictures of myself and him.
Really?
They're that identical. I mean, I'll be like, is that me or you? Like, I
And you don't have twins.
No.
Do you have twins?
No.
No.
Does your brother have twins?
No.
No.
But my grandparents and my cousins are. And
That's his brother. They look
Ew.
so much
You may
alike.
have just a little more hair, but I don't think you can
No,
tell.
he's
I don't
had
think you'd be able to
he's had a
tell.
hair transplant
Yeah, we both had-
surgery since then.
we
They
both-
both have had
we
hair
both did it at the
transplant
same.
surgeries.
We both had hair transplant surgeries at the same
That's
time.
before their surgeries.
Whoa, now which one is which now?
Oh yeah, that's the picture.
I think that one's Jared. Yeah, that's Jared. not
She had to
Jason.
think about it.
Okay, now when you showed me that one, I agree.
You can tell when you. But
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, those are old pictures.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. You should do that, and people be like, "Hey, Jared, come here. I don't know nothing about this," and they're like, "Did you own this place, bro?"
Yeah, no, we're gonna pull some tricks on them. I haven't told everybody intentionally. I haven't even told my kids.
Yeah.
I think she did by
It's crazy.
mistake, but
Yeah, that's nuts.
They're identical.
yeah. So yeah, we used to pull tricks switching, in classes because we had different homerooms growing up, and
Now that would
Yeah.
be fun. Now
Yeah.
that would be fun.
I'll tell you what, I jumped out of that really quick. We bailed so quick because we had to do tests and we were different homerooms, so we didn't no idea what the other one was studying. And so we're like, oh no, and so we just bailed. We're like, I'm the wrong twin. I don't want to mess up his test, and I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So. But it was funny. We did it, and we're really well known for how alike we look.
I bet.
It's crazy.
Because some identical twins don't
That's
look
him?
much alike.
No,
Well,
that's his brother. That's
wow.
the twin.
Now that one and the one with you two right side by side is crazy.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's
Yeah,
They look
we're like spitting image.
literally identical. It's so crazy.
All right, Heather, I got a personal question for you.
What's that?
You have a bull ring, right? Is that what that thing's called? Because I
It's
want
called a septum.
a septum. That has
Yes.
to go through the cartilage.
No.
Yeah.
Uh-uh.
It doesn't go through
No.
those.
Just
don't
below it. Yeah.
Uh-uh. They go below it.
hurt though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it hurts, but only for a few minutes.
How long have you had that?
Probably 4 or 5 years.
And how long you been married?
4 or
To
5
get it?
years.
She got it in summer of 2016 because right before I met her, like
So we've
2
been
months
together
before
like
I
4 or
met her.
5 years, yeah.
Yeah.
We don't really keep up with all those
5
dates. I don't
years.
even know our wedding anniversary. When is it? October
Oh,
something.
October something.
I figured y'all been together longer than that.
No,
No.
I moved
Oh,
back.
we've been together for 5
I was
years. that's it.
married, and
I was calculating 10 years.
I
somehow.
was married, and I
Okay.
moved back
Yeah.
and got a divorce, and we met, and it was just
Yeah.
over with.
Yeah, we both got divorced about the same time, and
Yeah,
then
we got
just
divorces around the same time and
Yeah.
met, and I was like, wait. And
You
we
guys have a
took off.
Hallmark
Yeah.
story and a Hallmark town
Yeah.
to do it in.
just, yeah.
and we're complete opposites.
Oh,
She's
yeah, we're
like
real
I'm the
different.
blonde hair, blue eyed Native American, and she's the dark
Yeah, you would
dark
think I'd be the one
dark
with
hair,
with
dark
the
skin,
hair. We're
like,
real different,
girl from
but
Mississippi.
we're really
Now, that's
good.
true.
Yeah.
That is true. You would
Yeah.
think that she would be Native American more than you would.
Yeah, I mean
That's-
everybody thinks she's Armenian.
I'm like, no,
And so
just plain. I don't know.
All right,
Yeah.
last question. We're going on an hour here.
okay.
Any advice for any people that want to start a business? What would you say is the best word of advice you can give?
My biggest word of advice is if somebody tells you it's a bad idea,
Do it
just
anyway.
do it anyway. Honestly,
Don't listen to the Shark Tank.
I've had
people.
family tell me, no, it's a terrible idea. The textbook industry, I've had family tell me this is the stupidest idea, like there's no money. And then, like even this store, I've had people criticize me. We just made it like a whole entire marketing plan, and people are like, oh, that's a really dumb idea. I don't think you're going to do well. And then,
Just do it anyway. Don't
Just
listen
do
to what
it.
people
Just-
say.
just
Go
have
with
fun.
what you know and what you
and
feel
if
like.
it's scary,
and do it anyway. Just
probably
do
because
it.
it's scary. If it's scary, you're probably on the right track because other people aren't doing it because they're scared.
And
right,
another
right,
thing,
and,
And
and it's
so-
always like nervous. If you're nervous, then it's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like
yeah,
you know, like
and don't believe what people say. Like, oh, you got to have money to do that. You got to come from
No.
money to do that. I didn't.
it's hard
I've
work.
worked my tail
and-
off, and I opened my first business when I was 19. I didn't know what I was doing. I had no money, and I made it work. And anybody can do that.
What I'm saying,
Literally anybody can do it.
Yeah.
But if you need help, let us know, because I love to help people do
Like,
stuff like that.
like,
It's so exciting.
Like, it's not something that, I'm not like saying like, but I used to live in a single wide trailer, a $6,000 trailer I bought it for. I mean, if I can come from that little thing and just in a matter of years, it's persistence. It's not just, I mean,
Just don't listen to what people,
there
you wanna
is
listen
luck
to.
involved
Just-
but the thing is, you got to make that luck happen.
Right.
And people are like, "Oh, you're lucky." No, I'm not. I mean, I do have
work
luck,
real hard.
but you work hard, and you come that luck. You can make the best of it.
I don't believe in luck because I think it's you
All
chose
your
that path
Yeah.
to go. Like,
Yeah.
It's all on your path.
if you
and
had bad luck, you just chose the wrong path. Like,
Yeah, I
you know,
mean, it's and
You
I
can
say
always
luck.
change
It's
it.
more if
Yeah.
you're coming along that path and you see something. That's your luck right there. I mean, you go
I'm not
take
gonna
that.
step over the hurdle. Next
And there's
Yeah.
like,
over this time.
Yeah.
it's really a circle of like try, fail, try, fail, try, fail, try,
Yeah.
try, 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 fail, 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 try, try, try,
And nobody sees
and
the
then
fail.
you succeed.
You know what I mean?
You know,
And that-
no,
And if you do fail, you make the best of it and learn from that.
Man, I fail all the
So,
time. I don't know what I'm
Yeah.
doing. I just make it up as I go and try something new and just keep going and just try something different, try something new, and just stay true to what you know and yourself and how you feel. And be a good human goes a long way. Just being a good human. That's the most important thing. That's what I tell my kids. The most important job you have on earth is to be a good human. And I think if you do things with pure good intentions, it's going to work out. Even if it doesn't work out how you envisioned it in your mind, keep going, because it's going to work out. Like, just do it. Don't listen to when people tell you, oh, no, you shouldn't do that. You don't have enough money. You don't have a degree. You don't have this. You don't have that. So what, Ann? You got the nerve to try it? Do it.
Yeah.
That's what most people don't have, is that nerve.
It's funny because I was right out of high school, 18, did this, started this. I'm 23 now, so you know what my check was last year for the podcast? $27.
There you go.
Like, I'm not making nothing. And people
Hey.
are like, "You're making a kill."
No, but one
That check
day,
last year didn't show nothing. It showed $27 and like 30 something cents. And I'm
but
like,
you work real hard, because one day,
right, and
That's
that's
it.
that's the quote I lead, and I quote Mark Cuban on this all the time because he's a billionaire. You want to
Yeah.
be a billionaire,
Yeah.
you know. And he always says, if you are doing something and making no money and you're working hard, imagine what you're gonna do when you're making money at it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that sticks in the back of your mind. You're like,
Sure.
Yes.
you weren't making nothing. Now
Yeah.
you're profitable more than you were.
Yeah.
You know
That's
what I mean?
right.
And so you just kept going.
Keep going.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do. Keep trying and trying and trying again. Don't give up. I mean, it's,
And you're gonna have your down days. but it's
everybody
one
has
day at a
down
time.
days, man.
And so-
Where you're like, what am I doing? Did I
They don't
waste
want to
all
get out
this
of bed
time and
today.
money?
Oh, man,
And
I've-
sometimes it's okay to not get out of bed for
Yeah.
a day. Just don't unpack and live there. Just
Yeah.
take a
You
little
You just
visit.
find a way. You just got to push through. I mean, I've had days where I'm like, man, I just feel like I'm down the dumps, and I haven't had one of those days in about 5-6 years. And ever since I stopped allowing myself to have bad days, I mean, my business has been thriving.
Every day is a
Yeah,
good day.
every day is
Not
a good
for
day.
me. I don't have that same mindset. Not every day is a good day, and that's okay. I take
It
my
doesn't
time.
matter
Yeah.
how you see
I
it.
take my time.
I mean, business-wise, I mean, personally, you got to work through your problems with the business. You got to make the best of what you got, and then also, I've actually had people tell me, why do you want to be a bigger business? Why do you want to do better? I'm like, well, I don't necessarily want to. I feel like I'd be happy right where I'm at.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's not fair to my employees if we don't grow. I'm trying to help families out. I'm trying to help people build a life for themselves. Trying to make managers. Trying to make.
Man, we have awesome
Like,
team
it's-
members too. That's how we're able to do
It's a
everything.
mentality.
Our team
Everybody
is
is
so
nice.
good.
Yeah.
And that's the
Yes.
thing. Everybody is nice.
We have so many
And if we have
good
toxic
team
people,
members.
they're gone quick. And so we.
And it's not just saying that. Like,
Yeah.
if you go to somebody southbound, wherever, and you're like, hey, I need help. They'll help you. And it's just
Yeah.
like,
Our team members treat it like it's their own business, and we treat them like they're the owners of the business too, because we appreciate them and we know we couldn't do it without them.
you may be higher up, but you're actually total. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? You're equal,
Like
but
I
you're
said
higher
earlier,
up.
we're all on the
Yeah.
same team.
And we try to
Yeah.
pay our employees well. That's another thing that's very important for businesses to grow. Is it's hard to do that as a business owner because it's a lot of your budget. But the thing is, if you can make them, you don't have to train new employees. You have people that are happier. You have more. We don't.
Once you're in with us, we want to
Yeah.
keep you forever.
Yeah.
We're like, we
Our-
want it to
Yeah.
be your
Yeah.
career. Like, we don't want you to leave. We have so many opportunities in different businesses, and we plan to grow and change and evolve. We want our people to be with us forever. It's our team. Like, we're all on the same team.
Once I
No,
get those,
you did good.
I think I did pretty good. I didn't say anything
I
too
don't think so,
inappropriate.
but I don't. I don't know you personally, so I don't really, I don't know.
See, this is
Where
why
we
it
go
works
from here?
out for us. We got real different opinions on things sometimes.
But no, I mean it's funny because we are opposites in a lot of ways, and we also we check each other a lot, and we communicate.
We have to keep a
And,
balance.
Like
Works
this
out.
morning, like we used to go eat Waffle House every morning. We just communicate, shoot ideas off of each other, and it's good to have people that are opposites because then you get more of a realistic approach on life and business.
We have really
The
good
thing
friends.
with me is nobody can tell me what to do, or
Yeah.
what not to do by
Yeah.
myself. But it's damaging. Like doing it by yourself
Oh yeah.
is killing because it's just you're doing everything.
Yeah.
And it's like sometimes I need a business partner.
Yeah.
But I don't have the money to pay that business partner.
Oh man, I'm sure having an editor would be a big deal because that's probably a lot of your
Oh.
stuff. And,
Yeah.
Because you got to go listen through the whole thing and you got to know what parts to take out and whatnot.
Yeah, because it's like if one time I did like a 2-hour podcast, and I'm like, I'm listening through the 2-hour podcast like 6 times just to make sure you get everything. And but yeah,
It's hard. And I mean, I'm sure it's any kind of job like that. But I'm like, that's something I always wanted to do is podcasts and stuff like that. And I mean, I can't do everything obviously, but it's fun to sit around and just talk. And
that's what
like
we did.
shooting
Heather
the
was
breeze.
nervous. Heather was like,
Yeah.
I'm scared. It's like,
I'm not.
just sit down. I'll take the reins. I got it.
It's funny. She's like more like courageous than I am, but some things like I know she's like nervous about some things, and I'm like, let's go do it. Like that's why opposites that work
I
great.
get nervous when I'm being recorded and stuff because sometimes I talk a little too freely. So I've been trying.
But you better be
mind
glad
my
you didn't go to
manners.
like People Magazine or something like that. That's
Yeah.
gonna take what you say.
Oh,
And
they
spin
gonna-
it and twist it.
Every local business
Yeah.
is bad except for ours.
Yeah,
Because
that's
you know
pretty
they would do that crap.
Oh yeah, I mean it's all about ratings.
We ain't got a lot of good local businesses around here. I love Stone County. That's why I came back and wanted my businesses and my family here. I'm
Yeah.
excited for the future of Stone County.
Oh yeah, we got a great thing happening here, and this town I think is one of the best towns in the country. I believe it or not. I mean, I see so much potential in this town. I just see it thriving. Especially through Corona, we only had like one business close because of it, and that's it. I mean, besides that, I don't think we've had any downturn. It's all been better. It's been growing, which you never hear that anywhere.
Yeah.
So, especially in like California, New York, it's been rough on them, and I feel like we did pretty good here.
Well, we're grateful because we don't live in such a. We're already isolated as it is, and so like we're such a small town
Yeah.
that
It's
it kind of doesn't hit the same as Los
like the big
Angeles.
cities, yeah.
Like everybody's shutting down here, not really. I wore a mask, but it's just. I don't think you really have to here because there's not that many. The population.
You're not all on top of each other.
Yeah, I mean, I live down a dirt road. I mean,
Yeah. So, but I mean, this small town feel. I mean, I feel like we united pretty well as a town. We started shopping local a lot more. I noticed that was a big trend, and that's the best trend I think the country's seen is a lot more shop local. And so I think that was one great thing that came out of Corona. And so I think that helped our business because I thought we were going to go under because I thought everybody was just going to go to Walmart. Turns out, nope, they want to go to the smaller stores, go help local businesses, and they also wanted to get away from other people. And the best way to do that is go to places where there's not a lot of people, and small businesses, unfortunately, were where it was at. And so,
well, Jared, Heather, I appreciate you guys coming on here and doing this. Once you open your new businesses, which we're not going to talk about, we'll get you back on.
All right,
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
Perfect.
yeah, we got
Give us a
all
little
kinds
time.
of fun things. So.